What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So in this video, weirdly enough, we have another new legend arriving on the JP side of the game. Literally like a week or two ago, they just had the release of the V2 DJembe batch with the brand new dual legend with Sanji and Judge, and that was all well and good. The batch is absolutely fantastic. I already made a video about that as well, so make sure you go check out the video if you want to see the full breakdown of those characters. However, I was in bed and I got tagged on Discord by someone over in the One Piece Treasure Cruise subreddit Discord saying that there's a new legend coming out in Japan. Now, it's kind of weird because usually I like to stay up a little bit later to kind of like wait for data downloads to happen. And I was really thinking, like, I wasn't really expecting a new legend to really drop. And funnily enough, we do. We have a new legend arriving on JP, which is, as you can see on the banner, a brand new legend, Cracker, is going to be arriving on One Piece Treasure Cruise Japan on the 10th of March, which, as of me recording this video, is going to be like about 36 hours away from me recording this video right now. So not that far away. Very late drop, I feel, the data download being pushed. Now, this character is a solo legend. He doesn't actually have a batch that is going to be coming out with, but there are two additional rare recruit characters that are going to be arriving in this Sugo Fest, which are going to be treasure map rare recruit characters, and I want to discuss them in this video as well, because actually both of them are actually like quite interesting characters. So let's go ahead and get into the video discussing not only Legend Cracker, we'll get to him, but I want to discuss Jinbei and Pound, which are the two other characters here. Now, Jinbei, just from looking at the way he's structured, I definitely believe Jinbei is going to be the higher point booster character. But let's go ahead and discuss the Jinbei character. I feel like his artwork just looks a little bit of a plain kind of artwork. I really wish that they did a little bit better here. Either way, brand new Jinbei character who is a quick powerhouse fighter character. Captain effect, obviously with treasure map characters, their captain effects are pretty awful. This guy's captain effect is going to boost powerhouse characters attack by 1.5, so nothing really amazing there. His special ability though maxes at 12 turns, and it actually does a lot of things, right? It first of all will restore 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction. Also, it will deal it returns 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction. Also, for the next 3 turns, he's going to deal 50 times his attack in quick damage to the enemy at the end of each turn for the next 3 turns, which is also quite an interesting effect. It's actually kind of nice to use outside of treasure map. You can use that kind of ability to bypass resilience and stuff like that, or even like if an enemy's quite strong and they have a barrier, you can break their barrier and let the end of turn damage deal a lot of damage to the enemy, and it's good because it's over 3 turns, which is actually not bad. Now, this is all preemptive translation. These are only just the previous translations that I've only done myself. The translations that I've done have not been cross-checked by other people, so I could be getting things wrong for the treasure map characters. We do know the full translations of Cracker, we do know that, but as for these characters, we probably don't know the full translations as of me recording this video right now. Now, he does have the added effect of, depending on your treasure map level, he boosts the orb effects of powerhouse characters, and it is obviously respective to what your navigation level is. So between 1 and 10, it's a 1.75 orb boost. Between 11 and 20, it's a 2 times orb boost, and above 21, it is a 2.25 times powerhouse orb booster. This character is going to be really good in upcoming treasure maps, so just note that when this character comes to global, as we know with treasure map rare recruit characters being boosted on future maps, that this character is actually going to be really good in future maps. He also does have a limit break as well. He gets a critical hit chance of 90% chance for 8% extra damage, which is actually pretty good. But this character overall, like, isn't a character that you want to probably invest to get a lot of gems for. It is a treasure map rare recruit character overall, so not too many free-to-play people are going to be pulling on this banner, but just want to kind of put it out there that, you know, Jinbei is available here, and he's pretty decent. Now, the next character here is Pound. Now, I think Pound is actually a little bit better. He's really cool. I like the artwork that they put for this as well. Obviously, it's the part in the anime where he was basically executed by Oven after trying to protect Chiffon. So anyways, this character's captain effect is a 1.5 times attack boost to side characters, and his special ability maxes at 12 turns, reduces 3 turns of increased damage taken buff, also reduces 3 turns of special bind. I believe it's special bind. I could be wrong there. It could be regular bind, but I think it's special bind, and also reduces 3 turns of enemies damage, percent damage reduction, which is the rainbow shield. So honestly, this character has really good utility. He himself is a Psy powerhouse free spirit character, so pretty good classes. He also has a limit break of pinch healing, where he gets under 50% health, you get 1.25 times his recovery. He has a pretty sizable recovery as well, and he also has a a sailor ability, and I believe this is resisting 2 turns of special bind. So it's kind of nice that a character that has special bind removal will also resist it by himself as well. So I think that this character is also a very, very good character to run. Just in not only just in treasure maps, but outside of treasure map, is going to be a really useful character to get a hold of. Now, obviously, the main event of this particular video is going to be discussing the brand new Legend Cracker and exactly what he does. Now, kind of weird, I was heading into this, I didn't know what he was, going to be doing. Before I even knew and read up about this character, I thought that he might have been a slasher-based character. I think that would have been the best way to build the character. However, he unfortunately isn't a slasher-based character. Unfortunately, he is a powerhouse-based legend, and I really don't like that because we literally just had the release of the best powerhouse batch in all of One Piece Treasure Cruise history with the version 2 DJembe batch, and yet again we're getting a release of another powerhouse character that I guess is kind of overshadowed by the V2 DJembe batch. But anyways, let's get into it. So I want to show you guys the unevolved artwork first. This is the regular 5-star artwork for Legend Cracker, and honestly I think it's absolutely amazing, and I actually kind of like this artwork better than his evolved form. But in terms of his evolved artwork, this is it right here. This is his evolved artwork, and I mean, leave your comments down below on what you guys think of the artwork. I personally like the unevolved artwork a little bit better here. But here we have Legend Cracker, who is a quick, I believe that's quick. I don't know, I can't really tell the difference sometimes between int and quick. But anyways, I think it's a quick powerhouse slasher. His stats overall with his max limit break, just under 4,000 HP, 1794 attack, 425 recovery. All pretty reasonable for a legend, in 2019. I feel like those are very, very reasonable statistics. His captain ability, very, very, very short. And it states that he's going to boost the attack of Powerhouse by 3.75, and he's going to boost the HP of fighters, slashers, strikers, and shooter characters by 1.35. So all of the 4 original classes that were first input into One Piece Treasure Cruise get that 1.35 times HP boost. Now, 1.35 is ridiculous. That is so much goddamn health. Cracker, just on base form, just looking at him, he's going to have a lot of health and a base 3.75 times attack boost. That's really substantial. This is a great legend to have if, like, you didn't pull the DJembe batch, basically. If you didn't pull the new DJembe legend being Judge and Sanji. But just looking at it at a standpoint right now, there's nothing really too bad about that captain effect. It's a very, very good captain effect of being just a base, unconditional 3.75 times attack boost. We saw that, relatively recently when Capone came out, being a base 3.75 times booster for shooter class, and that's already, been going to show like how good that is as a captain effect, as well as applying that much health is really good. He himself is a slasher character, so he's obviously going to be boosting health, and in most cases when you're running powerhouse characters, I feel like in a lot of cases, not like in every single situation, but in a lot of situations, a lot of characters on your team will be getting that health boost, which is very, very nice. As I said, he's going to have a lot of health to play with, especially with the release of some of the new ships like the DJembe ship, and there already are a couple good other powerhouse ships like the Zunisha ship is going to work so well with this character. I'm actually really interested to see what kind of teams people are going to be building with this character. But let's get to the most important part, right, which is his special effect. His special effect is a 16-turn cooldown. Now, this looks like a lot of text, but it's actually pretty straightforward and easy to understand. So there are 3 different effects that you have to worry about with his special. The first effect is stating that he's going to change empty, block, bomb, recovery, and G orbs into matching. I believe this is the exact same orb manipulation that Raid Boss Kuma has. Empty, block, bomb, recovery, and G. He doesn't change tandem orbs, unfortunately, so I do definitely believe that the Zunisha ship is going to be the best ship for this guy because he doesn't change tandem orbs, of course, so you can treat them as matching with the ship. So the fact that he does have that amount of orb manipulation is actually quite ridiculous. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you could use a character like the brand new, oh, not the brand new, but Treasure Map Big Mom. It would actually work really well here because she's a powerhouse unit. She gives you a full board of G orbs, and then you can go ahead and use your Cracker to change them into matching, which is actually really, really cool. But that is just the first of his effects, is really, really strong orb manipulation, so I'm a big fan of that. His secondary effect states that if your captain is a fighter, slasher, striker, or a shooter, so one of the 4 original classes, boost the chain multiplier by 1.1 times for 2 turns. Okay, now, that is the most ridiculous thing ever, because we have never had a chain booster go over 1 before. Like, a 0.9 chain boost with V2 Shanks, we already know how OP that is, and the new V3 Whitebeard that came out is a 0.7 chain booster. Like, the fact that he's a chain booster of 1.1 for 2 turns is ridiculous. The amount of damage you get just for free off of that is insane. So people are going to be making some pretty cool teams with that, and I can't wait to see it. But 1.1 chain boost is ridiculously overpowered. Now, that is his secondary effect, right? You need to make sure your captain is one of those 4 original classes of fighter, slasher, shooter, or striker. Now, his last effect, it depends on if your captain is one of the other 4 classes, being free spirit driven, cerebral, or powerhouse. Now, if your captain is one of those 4 classes, he's going to boost the color affinity of those 4 classes, being free spirit driven, cerebral, powerhouse, by 1.75 times for 2 turns. Kind of interesting because it's kind of like blending 2 different legends together, kind of blending the kind of chain boost from V2 Shanks and also the color affinity from Legend Nami, kind of like blending those 2 together in one character with Raid Kuma's Orb Manipulation. That's the best way to convey what this character does. Now, looking at it at a base form here, I'm not the biggest fan of this character. I do kind of respect what he can do, and I can understand that there are a lot of characters nowadays, especially on the JP side of the game, that can provide so much damage output for Powerhouse now, but I feel like it's kind of like an unnecessary legend. Like, this is a character that you don't really need to get. I mean, if you're going to be running a Powerhouse team, like, you should definitely just be running the V2 Gembe team. That is, like, hands down the best Powerhouse team that you should be running right now on the JP side of the game. I'm still a big fan of what he does. I like what he does, but I just think it's kind of unnecessary. I don't know why they're giving us this type of character now. I feel like this would have been a great character to release before the Germa batch, and then have the Germa batch maybe for Treasure Map. I think that might have been too much, though. Kind of interesting, though. This character really should have come out before Germa. And I think if he did, a lot of people would have been way more excited, and probably a lot more people would have been pulling for him. That's just from me looking at it at a standpoint where I'm at right now. So, I mean, when this comes out to global, I would say to completely skip this, or like, do not go too hard for Legend Cracker. It's a Treasure Map Sugo Fest, so people are going to be pulling for him. But either way, I just don't think he's like the best character they really should have released right now. I feel like it's just the wrong time to release a character like this. Now, in terms of his other effects, right, he does have a couple of potential abilities. First one is strength damage reduction up to 7%, which is very, very good. He has anti-heal. 10 turns of anti-heal was actually really good, and critical hit chance of 90% for 8%. Okay, that's actually really good as well. 90% chance for a crit is ridiculous. Like, essentially every time you attack, you're getting an additional 8% extra damage. So this guy is going to be hitting pretty goddamn hard. Now, before we end this video, he actually has a very, very good set of crewmate abilities. His bottom one I want to talk about first, right? It gives 100 base stats to Powerhouse and Slasher characters. Just that by itself is pretty decent so far. His secondary one is actually really good, though. It states that whenever another Slasher or another Powerhouse character uses their special, he reduces his own cooldown by 1 turn. That is very good, considering his max cooldown is 16 turns, which is, it's pretty substantial. And in order to get his cooldown down faster, is to use your other character special. So I'm a big, big fan of that secondary crewmate ability. He actually has a support ability as well, and it actually does a lot. Yo, let's actually go ahead and check this out real quick. Okay, so his support ability is a little bit confusing for me right now as of me recording this video. I'm not really 100% sure on the translations, but from what I can gather, it states something along the lines of whenever you get an effect on your crew that puts a chain coefficient reduction, he resists 3 turns of it and then adds 0.7 to your chain for that turn. Now, obviously, he can only be attached to certain characters, probably like Big Mom, Katakuri, and stuff like that. So that's very, very interesting. He has a pretty good support ability and definitely could see usage, but I think that he's going to have a lot more usage as a sub. Just from looking at it at a standpoint right now, I do think that as a sub, he's going to be an immensely useful unit to have, but it can't really take away from that captain effect. As I've already said, 3.75 base is very strong and definitely will be able to clear a lot of content in the game. So that's been my whole breakdown of Legend Cracker and just the whole treasure map stuff coming to JP. Actually really, really excited actually now that I've gone ahead and gone through all the characters. Cracker is going to see some use definitely here and there, but as I said, I feel like it's kind of the wrong time to release the character. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on Legend Cracker down below in the comment section. Love to hear you guys' thoughts about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.